Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and this thing makes me laugh every time I see it. This was, I had covered this earlier in the week. I wanted to show it to you again to make a point. CryptoPunk number 1021 sold for 720 ETH, which is $2.5 million. Cartoon monkeys, folks. And I went to the CryptoPunk's website, and it makes me feel dumber just looking at this. This thing sold at $413 back in 2020, and this week sold for $2.58 million. So I thought we'd have some fun with this because that's what we do on Saturdays. I've told you about my partner, my XRP partner, which is Gulf of America XRP.com. These guys sell Gulf of America real estate all the way from Panama City Beach over to about Pensacola, and they can also help you out with properties all over Florida if you're interested in other areas. But what you're looking at is a $1.745 million property. And so what I'm going to do today, I wanted to show you what you could have this particular property is on the bay, and it's an unbelievable property. This is on the bay there in fact, let me show you exactly where. This is in Panama City, or close to Lynn Haven, Florida, which is Panama City. If you zoom out here, let's zoom out all the way here. And this is the Gulf of America. These guys in their coverage go from about Panama City over to Pensacola, but they can find properties anywhere if you need help. But this particular property is off off Panama City in what's called North Bay. So let's look at this thing. You can get this property for $1.745 million, less than what you would buy a cartoon monkey for. This stuff makes me go out of my mind. It's so stupid, those cartoon monkeys and all that stuff. Just take a little stroll here and see what you would get for less than the price of a cartoon monkey. And then I'll tell you what myself and Brad Combs have decided that we're going to do. The first person that buys a property through the guys at Gulf of America XRP.com, Brad Combs and I are going to get you a reproduction of that cartoon monkey, not the real thing, so it's not going to be worth anything, because in my opinion the original's not worth anything, but that's just me. But we're going to get you a reproduction, and we're both going to sign it, and we're going to have it framed for you. The first buyer from the guys at Gulf of America XRP.com, we're going to personally get you a framed copy of that cartoon monkey, and both of us are going to sign it for you so that you can hang it in your property that's actually worth something, and so that you'll laugh every day when you go buy it, because this is what you could get for only $1.745 million versus wasting your money on a stupid, and I do mean stupid, cartoon monkey. Let's keep looking through here. This place is, I was looking through here going, man, I want to buy a property like that. Look at the deck view. They've got let's keep going. I wanted to show you some of the views as we get through these pictures. There's a bunch. You've even got your own little bar downstairs looking out on the water. Unbelievable. You got a game room, ping pong table, weight room. Now that's your view right there, folks. Look, there's your dock. You can put your boat in there. This is called Fanning Bayou. And you've even got a community pool in there. This place is awesome. Man, it makes me want to move down there. But what you do is you go to Gulf of America XRP.com. You can put your name and email address in, and these guys will put you on a tickler. I'm on it too. Every Friday you get more properties from down there on the Gulf of America, and you can even go in and say, well, I only want to see properties that are oceanfront. I only want to see properties between 350,000 and 500,000. You can kind of go in there and mold it the way you want it. And then when you're ready to go look, you can call these guys at 850-890-8884. That's what we do on Saturday. We have a good time. We've got a 329 XRP, and something that's gotten my attention. The Ripple case officially ended yesterday after 5 years of drama, and Brad Garlinghouse did not even tweet about it. He didn't say anything about it. And I just find that interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a media blitz of Brad Garlinghouse interviews into this next week to go over all this. Folks, you're not going to hear the truth anywhere but really in the XRP community. But here's the truth. Nothing in crypto has more downside risk than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has had all these advantages for all these years and hasn't had to compete in a free market. For a decade, it's had all the media attention while propped up by government and regulators with a commodity designation, futures, ETFs, and everything else a holder could dream of, while all other digital assets, with the exception of ETHgate, have been kept in a regulatory gray area, with some XRP held up through regulatory capture. The Ripple case ending and the Clarity Act officially end this charade. You won't be hearing this truth on CNBC. Lock in. Some of the Bitcoin maxis are starting to figure it out.
Ripple, XRP Army, myself having the most educational video ever created. Another catalyst for sure. And this happened yesterday as well. This is pretty big. Finally, the final legal battle between both sides is coming to an end. I don't even know what this last thing that they've been like fighting over, but both sides agreed we're going to drop it. Okay, and this once and for all should be over. There should be no more legalities. Okay, and after this, Ripple can go ahead and dominate the world.
That's pretty much it. Dominate the world. Look, folks, in the group today, we're going to talk about that XRP Escrow, and I've thought for a long time, and there's not a doubt in my mind that Escrow is not all owned by Ripple. And we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to show you what's going on in the past, and I'm going to show you why I think what I think in the group today. These guys are not mentally and emotionally prepared. These Bitcoin maxis, they are not prepared for that. That's what they've been hanging around Ripple's neck for all these years. You own the majority of this. Meanwhile, anyway, we'll talk about that in the group. I can't wait to see the look on these people's faces when they find out it's not all owned by Ripple.
Fortunately, last weekend, I once again asked me what I think of XRP. And
every time.
It is hard to to be fair, if you look at the chart, I think XRP's gone from like $1 to $3, something like that. I don't really watch what it's done, but some people just look at that, and if that's their number go up.
Man, it's so cringe how much these guys don't understand.
Right, and they don't know anything about economics, about how these protocols and networks actually work. They're just going to look at it and be like, yeah, this thing was up.
The irony is we know all about how it works.
300%. Well, why would I not buy it? And yeah, you just look at like the past few days or 30-day gains for some of these other crypto tokens, and they are up a lot. Hurley, did you have some line that was like, Bitcoiners always, we think that we're going to get to this point where we have to stop explaining Bitcoin versus crypto, but it's probably...
I understood Bitcoin a decade ago, but now, whew. Then we got Raoul Paul, who said this.
Sorry, but people are going to buy XRP and Doge and Cardano, whether you like it or not, because they're cheap. In the
I want to explain something to you. I don't think Raoul Paul is one of the mega bad guys in this space. What gripes my butt is that he, as well as all these other people that are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, and all those people, they always have to preface anything about XRP, like even if you don't like it or this or that. There's always some negative slant in every single mention. But you'll notice down here, he actually tells you a bit of truth after he says all this stuff about XRP. I've been long XRP since 2019, and I'll tell you what what the important thing to take out of this is. The reason that guys like him, remember, these are Wall Street guys. He's an ex-Goldman Sachs guy. The reason that they talk up Bitcoin, Ethereum, SUI, and Solana is because all of those, there's a huge group of these VC types and Wall Street types that either got an allocation before launch or they got some kind of discounted allocation. I'm not saying him specifically. I'm just saying overall, that's the deal. And they get this allocation, and there's an entire, and these people have a lot of money and a lot of power, and so they have an entire network of influencers and media that once they get their allocations or get their discounts, then they go out and it's this full force push to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, SUI. That's how it works. But you don't have to take my word for it. I'm going to let you hear it from somebody else.
The term of how much you pay for a token. So people will do that. The alt layer ones that are getting absolute network adoption, Solana, SUI, a few others, great. And then somewhere in the middle, we'll see what happens.
And he totally, you don't have to listen to all the rest of this, but he totally leaves out any lack of adoption by Ripple. They've been under regulatory capture for 5 years, folks. He leaves that out. There's nobody with more potential, no company other than Ripple with more potential going forward. And there's no digital asset with more potential, XRP, because it's been unleashed now. So yeah, he might own some XRP, but he doesn't promote it the way he does the others, because I'll bet dimes to donuts he got his allocation of some of those others I mentioned early. Charles Hoskinson tells you how the game works in this clip that I put out a while back.
I think that VCs overlook the...
And remember, what do they always bash? XRP and Cardano. Both of which, I believe, did not give allocations to the VCs the way they wanted it back in the day.
Cardano ecosystem. Some do, some don't. It just depends on the location. Is it a family office? Is it certainly A16Z and others are like Cardano. But the problem is that we didn't. Why do you think that is? Because we didn't have any Ponzonomics for them. I mean, let's be honest here. The vast majority of VCs, let's just be honest, the way they approach it is liquidity. So they say, when is the token coming out? Where's the marketplace for the token going to be? Do I get an early distribution? How do I exit that early distribution when the retail people come in? And you've seen numerous layer ones and dApps, we won't name
the ones that I just named,
names, where they launch to market at a very high valuation. The insiders dump, they go down, and they walk away with a lot of money.
That's how this game has worked. Time to up that XRP allocation for the good of your investors, Grayscale. 1 week returns, XRP is at the top. It's at the top on the year too. How long will Grayscale ignore this for their investors? Also, we've got an explosive XRP podcast video dropping at 9 a.m. So it's already dropped. I need to go watch that. This is going to have the Canary Capital CEO drops a bombshell predictions on XRP ETFs. Then we have this from Dark Defender. Dear friends, I promised you earlier to everyone the Grand Wave structure update. Here's what he says. We completed Wave 1 and 2, which took 7 years. And yes, I proudly confirm that XRP is now on the Grand Wave 3, which we've been waiting for so long. And look where he's pointing from. We're at 330 or so right now. He's pointing all the way up into that arrow goes and touches at least 32 to 50 bucks. I like the looks of that. And then Crypto Law had added this. The SEC has fought this at every turn after the Torres decision, and now they've formally embraced it. The winning keeps happening. So John Deaton had tweeted out about this. He said, what this means, Ripple can continue to raise money in the private markets. One might even argue it's business as usual, as if the lawsuit against Ripple and the $125 million fine never happened. Now, this right here goes right into talking about that XRP escrow that all the entire world believes Ripple owns all of it. I don't believe that. And I think it will shake markets to the core when the details of that come out. And I think we know when the details of that are going to come out. And I'm going to show you that too. It's already been talked about, not highlighted too much, but I'll show you when it's coming out. and when we're going to find out. So let's go talk about XRP Escrow. Go to daixrp.com, the Patreon, or if you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these videos. If you'd rather join through, I'm drawing a blank, X, then you can hit the subscribe button. Let's go talk about what I call Ripple's ultimate secret weapon, secret XRP weapon. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Let's talk escrow. Here we go.